Hi, it's Kevin here from Team Focus. Sometimes when you've got tasks on your screen like this, you want to store more information than is available to you on these current lists. You might decide you need to store a branch or something else about a certain task, and you just don't have that space available. So in Team Focus, you can actually choose what information gets stored with each task. So I'm going to show you how to go into the workflow editor and decide what fields are stored against tasks that live in that particular workflow. So the first thing to do is go into the workflow editor, click on this, go down to workflows. Okay, once your workflows are loaded, click on the workflow you want to edit. Now you've got details here. This is the details for the workflow itself. So the name of this workflow is basic, and just a description at the bottom. This little tick here just says that this is a default workflow. If I'm going to enter a task from any quick add, this is the workflow where that task will go. Just go up into fields, and you can immediately see all of the fields that are available in this workflow. The fields at the top here are the fields that will appear in search results. So if you click on a list or do a search manually, these are what we call summary fields. So these will appear on all the results. These fields down here are visible when you click on the little pencil icon on a task, and you actually bring up the separate window and you can see all the details about a task. These fields down the bottom are what we call available fields. These fields have been used in your team before but aren't actually on this workflow. So these fields won't be currently stored against tasks in this workflow. Now you can rearrange the order of these. If you want priority to appear first, you can just drag it up the top. If you want it to appear back where it was, you can drag it down here. So now you can actually control the order of fields that appear in search results. Again, you can control the order down here. So let's have a look at what some of these fields actually are. You can see this description field. If I click on that, you can see that it's just a type text. That means you can just type some text into this field. ID is of type counter. That counter field means that we will actually add a number to the previously stored value every time a task is created. That's great for generating invoice numbers or having a task number that you can talk to someone about on the phone. Or if you want to send a task number in email or something like that. Hours here. Hours is actually a timer field. A timer field is what you've seen on the previous screen with the start and stop button. It's like a stopwatch, and you can use that to accumulate time or anything like that. Priority is just a drop down. It's a list of numbers. So we've said start at 1, end at 6, increment by 1. The next one we have is a different type again. This is a list of users. Now we've called this worker. So in this case, a field name worker will have a value of one of the people who's actually a member of your team. This allows you to do things like worker:me to show you all your current tasks, or worker:Jason to show you all the tasks that Jason's working on. If you use things like me, it knows who's logged in, so it can find the right results for you. Now the next field we have here is step. This is what we call a system field. So this is a non-editable field that you can't change. This is just always set to the current step of the current task. So you can easily then show that in a list and you'll see all the steps they're at, or you can search on step and so on like that. Workflow is very similar. Always shows you what workflow the task is currently in. And tags, if you want to use the tagging system, the tags is just, do you want tags to appear in the summary in this case? You can move it down to details if you want it to appear in details, or if you don't want to see it at all, you can move it down the bottom to available fields. I suggest you have a quick look at the tags video if you want to know more about tags. Okay, so I'll just close this field off. Now, there's a few more different types I would like to show you. One thing is like chemical location. In this case, it's just a list of, in this case, locations where you could store things. The field names are whatever you want to call them, obviously. So in the names here, you can add new options to that. So you can just create one you like. Wollongong, new, that's now a valid option on that list. So if I save that field, whenever that field appears on a task now, it'll just become a drop-down field and you can choose that. Design field, in this case, is just an attachment. So we've called it design, so you could upload the design for any task. You could have plans, you could have testing guidelines, whatever sort of attachments you like. You can have one attachment per field in this case. You can also have dates. Due is just a date field. When you do a date field, it comes up with a little calendar control when you're actually editing these values. And when you're searching for them, you can use things like this week, last week, tomorrow, and so on to find all these values. So if you've used the due dates and you've put the dates in for tomorrow, you could search for due:tomorrow and it will show you all those tasks. So the last tool I want to show you is this. We've got a checkbox, which is just a little square, and you can put a tick in it or click it again to untick it, and that's what we've just named safety check complete in this case. You've also got reportable. Now in this case we've just got radio buttons. We've said yes or no. You can add options. This is very similar to the drop down option that we showed you previously. So I'll close it off now. So I'll just leave the workflow editor now. I'll close this. Do you want to close without saving changes? Yes, that'll close it. I'll go back home. I'm back to my list of tasks. So now you know how you can control what fields appear on this list and what fields appear when you actually get the details of a task, these fields here. There is a document on our public website, www.teamfocus.me, that tells you all about these other fields like created and created by. These are more system fields that actually get set when you create a task. So you could search on everything created by, or last edited, or what date it was created, and so on. So that's all about fields in workflows. If you'd like to know more about steps and transitions in workflows, there's another video on that. If you go back to the video section, you should be able to find that. I hope you enjoy using Team Focus. Thanks for your time.